Now, if you're anything like me, then when you were just a little kid with nothing better to do than to kick rocks, you would spend your time watching YouTubers, hoping one day maybe you could be as cool and successful as them. But now it's present day and everyone you once loved is quitting or moving on somewhere. Why is that? Don't they know how much we love them? Well, it's complicated, and I'm here to say why I think they're quitting. Enjoy. Now, hypothetically, if you used to watch YouTube from like 2010 to 2014 or 15, and then promptly wandered off into the woods for 9 years, then you might be surprised to hear that beloved YouTubers like Seth Everman, MatPat, Stampy, Tfue, kinda, and even Captain fucking Sparkles are all retiring. And other YouTubers like PewDiePie and DanTDM have elected to start uploading a lot less so that they can focus on enjoying YouTube and being a family man. Which I think everyone is okay with, but these people are all retiring in different kinds of ways. And understanding why they did that is a key part of understanding why so many YouTubers are quitting in general. Well, simply put, all of these classic YouTubers are quitting for similar reasons. The main one being that YouTube has no longer been about the love of the craft. It's been about the grind of the views. Views are everything on YouTube, man. So, while you and me are uploading hoping to God to get a video that goes mega viral and lets us do whatever we want with our career, YouTubers are uploading and praying that they get the bare minimum views to eat for the week. Everything is just about getting those views and seeing those numbers rise. Put simply, it just becomes stressful needing to constantly stress about uploading bangers every day. Or in some other cases, namely DanTDM, MatPat, and PewDiePie, they have kids now. They have their own little gremlins, and they've reached such an ultra stardom that they don't need to constantly upload anymore. So why would they? It's sad, yeah, but when they're stressing themselves out over views that are arbitrary, it makes no sense. Now, I know, so many people get real upset when they learn that their favorite YouTubers quit, but let's be real. Think about Dan or Stampy, or hell, even MatPat. Do you watch them because you like them? Or do you return to them every few months to boost your nostalgia so you would stop scratching at your neck like a nut on powder user? These people are just that. People. Would you want to be only recognized from your work from almost 10 years ago? Especially when you're stressing about making the next banger video every week? They don't, and that's fair. Now, there are different types of retiring. For instance, MatPat is going to 1. Be a family man, and 2. Just do what he enjoys as a YouTuber. He explicitly stated that he's not saying goodbye forever, you can all go fuck yourselves. He's still doing some smaller things. He's going to host a YouTube fashion show for a style theory channel, and he's still going to be working, and he'll still be interacting with the videos. He'll just no longer host them, which is a perfect way of explaining it. Game Theory's a show, and MatPat just so happens to host it, which is how he announced that each and every of his 4 pillar channels will be hosted by a different person. MatPat said this was to prevent causing someone the same stress he had felt while hosting and writing for all 4 channels. Which sounds like a callback to what I said earlier, I'm not a dumbass. Or DanTDM and PewDiePie. They both have at least 1 kid. One of Dan's kids even turned 4 recently. And they have other things that are more important in their lives than stressing about meeting a view goal, or appeasing teenagers and adults who want that sweet shot of nostalgia like they're addicts. And then there are the people who only kinda said goodbye. That applies to people like Meat Canyon, Tom Scott, Stampy, etc, etc. They all backed off their main content, which would be animation, education, and The Lovely World respectively. And all of them had a similar, if not identical reason for doing so. They're all burning themselves out from doing what they love too much. They didn't want to just stop making stuff, only what was their main driver of stress. So Meat Canyon's focusing on a second channel, Papa Meat. Tom Scott's focusing on his podcast, and more or less being done with his channel for the foreseeable future. And Stampy is going to do whatever he wants with no real concrete plan. So none of them are necessarily done with YouTube, but they are taking a step back from what they're known for. Their legacy, if you will. Well, let's think on it for a moment. Who is arguably the most popular YouTuber at the moment? Mr. Beast, of course.
Come on, Jimmy, you gotta have something.
Sorry, dude. There's nothing I can do, muscle man.
Jimmy, come on, Jimmy. You know you owe me.
And if you did what I did and just watched about every single interview he's ever done, then you know 2 things. He doesn't pay the IRS, and YouTube needs to be fast-paced with quickie, snappy edits and cuts with all the eye candy in the world so you can keep all these walker-ass children entertained in watching your YouTube videos. And that is exactly what every new YouTuber who thinks he needs to succeed at all costs is doing. And as these classic YouTubers who don't use that style retire or upload less, the next generation of YouTubers, people like Eric, Tommy Innit, or hell, even someone like you or me will start adopting that editing style. Except me, of course. I'm above that. So the point that we'll reach is YouTube will become more just key jangling and high-paced editing, with lower and lower quality content, Because the people who watch Mr. Beast just simply are not doing all that for a YouTube video.
Kids made fun of me on Twitter, so in retaliation, I'm gonna nuke their stadium.
But the classics aren't uploading, so people aren't being inspired off of more simple YouTube videos that are still interesting and funny. But as simply as I can make it, the main issue is YouTubers will start losing their personalities. People like Phidias, as a key example, are literally the main character of their videos, harassing people for the sake of content. But if you watch Phidias, tell me what his personality is. I mean, he has one, right? No, he doesn't. He's just another mindless YouTuber producing Mr. Beast knockoff slop without the driver motivation that he has. People watch this shit, and believe me, it is shit for the sake of being surprised by wacky hijinks. That is brain rot content, not Skibbity Toilet. Well, that's also brain rot. But Milkman, I don't want to watch all that. Can you say that but in 1 or 2 paragraphs so you can pad runtime? Why, of course I can. Now, to boil it all down, all these YouTubers are quitting because YouTube simply isn't what it used to be. YouTube is about being loud and interesting, so it doesn't matter if you're funny, if your voice is the loudest then you're going to succeed, which is putting a whole lot of stress on YouTubers who just want to keep uploading out of love. And some YouTubers are family men who want to step back and spend time with the wife and kids. Not everything is YouTube, even if it seems that way to us. And because of these people stepping back, Mr. Beast's knockoff brain rot will simply end up taking over YouTube, unless newer YouTubers can change that YouTube meta. But I doubt it. It's sad, but it's true. But I think it's more fair for these YouTubers to be allowed to quit if they want to focus on their lives. Most of them have been on it for a 10-year plus grind of videos, which is crazy. Oh, yeah, and then there's Tfue, who quit for at least a while and then came back with Season OG. So, his retirement didn't last long.